Greetings, I'm Vulkk. The Kurast Undercity is a unique dungeon found in the city of Kurast. It has multiple floors which must be traversed before the timer ends. Defeating enemies and completing the secondary objectives here will earn us Atonement. The Kurast Undercity dungeon becomes available after completing the Vessel of Hatred campaign quest called Reunion. This opens up the priority quest, the Kurast Undercity, and the dungeon itself after beginning this quest. The Kurast Undercity has several mechanics that can make it a bit tricky to finish a district run, the biggest one of these being the timer and the Atonement. Tributes and bargains can also make them trickier as well, but we'll talk about those later on. The district timer is our time limit for the run. Regardless of difficulty, this will always start at 100 seconds or 1 minute and 40 seconds. This timer will turn yellow when there is less than 60 seconds remaining and red when there is less than 30. Each floor of a district run starts in a safe zone. Our district timer will not count until we exit this safe zone. We can increase our district timer by defeating afflicted enemies, and it has no cap on how high it can go other than how many afflicted ones are on the map. These will be marked on the map as skulls with hourglass next to them. Afflicted mobs come in 3 variations: packs, lesser elites, and greater elites. Afflicted packs are groups of weak enemies that will award an additional second each, usually granting 5 to 8 seconds for the whole pack. These are good for a quick burst of time compared to the beefier elites. The lesser elites are elite mobs that usually spawn as a small pack, often no larger than 3 at a time. Each of these lesser elites will grant an additional 15 seconds. As long as they aren't taking more time to defeat than what they grant, they're definitely worth it. Greater elites are a single, much stronger elite with increased health and damage. These can appear as standard elites or as super elites with unique names. Defeating this type of enemy will grant an additional 30 seconds. Much like the lesser elites, don't bother if they will cost more of your time than the reward. Atonement is the scoring system within the Kurast Undercity. We'll gain Atonement in 2 ways: defeating enemies and completing the Soul Brazier events throughout the district run. Defeating most enemies will grant very little, however afflicted enemies do grant a fair bit more than others. It's around 2-3 enemies for a single point of Atonement, while most afflicted enemies will drop 1 to 3 depending on their type. The largest sum of Atonement will come from Soul Braziers, especially Grand Soul Braziers, typically found in the end of a floor. These must be completed to reach Atonement rank 4 in any given run. There is very little wiggle room unless we are power clearing each floor, in which case we can skip a couple at the end. While Atonement determines the amount and quality of rewards, tributes and bargains give us control over the final rewards. Additionally, we may run into a portal prankster, which gives us additional loot on a successful district run. Tributes are special dungeon keys that allow us to modify the final rewards from defeating the boss during the district run. These are most commonly acquired from ladder bosses and Whispers of the Dead. When applying a tribute to a district run, we'll also be able to apply a bargain. These have a cost associated with them, which is low outside of the stronger options. There are 3 distinct district bosses we unlock by completing the priority quests for the Undercity. Each of them is fairly straightforward with just a single mechanic to take note of.
So much good I would have done. So much good.
For a more comprehensive and detailed overview of the new dungeon and the little details inside and about it, check out the written version of the guide on Vulkk.com. Thank you.